Mullin, plus one of the premier backcourts in the NBA, Tim Hardaway and Mitch Richmond. With their first test of the season against Paul Westhead's wild and wacky fast break run and gun offensive system as the Westhead era begins in Denver. It's the season opener, the Warriors versus the Nuggets, and it's next. For the Golden State Warriors at the fours, Chris Mullin and Tom Tolbert. At center will be Alton Lister, and in the backcourt, Tim Hardaway and Mitch Richmond. And they'll be matched up thusly. T.R. Dunn, Orlando Woolridge, and Blair Rasmussen up front for Paul Westhead's Denver Nuggets, Michael Adams and Todd Lichty in the backcourt. Of course, the Denver Nuggets gave up close to 164 points a game in the preseason. T.R. Dunn connects.
There's a guy with a career average of 5.1. 14th season, a defensive player, but Hardaway end to end. For the strengths of the Warriors this year, they do have some depth.
Lichty off the cut. Back to Dunn. Rebounded by Lister. He looks down floor, goes the short route to Hardaway. This is Richmond. And he barrels in and slices his way through, plus the foul. Super.
For the steal. You're not going to strip the ball from Michael Adams. You got to get back and play defense position.
And Mullin with a quick reply at the other end. 15-7, Warriors' biggest lead. Woolridge with the stutter step, off balance shot, and the foul slam by Rasmussen. 6th year out of Oregon, you vaguely remember that school.
Yeah, he followed in my footsteps. Took care of all the records I left, which weren't many.
Mullin wide open. No defense there. I heard you. That's an effort. Steve Johnson, you know where the Warriors are really excelling tonight on the offensive boards. And now here's a foul at the other end as Davis hits. Was he playing defense or praying?
Mock prayer.
Rod Higgins sneaks in. The move by Higgins. Has 7 off the bench, and it's tied at 49. Woolridge using his muscle plus the foul. We'll see that all night. Missing 2. 52-49, the Nuggets with their biggest lead. 9:14 to go in the half. Michael Adams. Oh, he is something. Quick.
Never went anywhere.
Who already has 6 rebounds, checks in. And Rod Higgins goes out. Tyrone Hill, the rookie, is in there guarding Joe Wolf. Good catch underneath by Dunn. In traffic.
That looked like a football play.
Nuggets by 3. The little pull-up by Chris Mullin for 7 from the floor. Michael Adams streaking through, and he lost the ball. 56-55 Nuggets. 8 minutes to go in the half.
Oh, what a beautiful play. Hardaway breaks down 3 or 4 players. Just loses them and gives.
Mitch Richmond back on hand as Marshallonis takes his seat. It is now 63-62 Warriors, and Richmond paying quick dividends. Very deliberate half-court offense here, unusual for Paul Westhead's team. Jerome Lane, great pass to Woolridge. What a look away to Woolridge. Cousin, Willis Reed. So he snubbed his own cousin and wound up playing for the LA Lakers. 67-66 Warriors. Here's Kevin pressured off the bomb pass. Nicely done.
A nice pass by Lister.
Welcome back to another episode of Go School Retro NBA, episode 22. Join me as I'm here to discuss one of basketball's top scoring duos ever of all time, the triple threat, Run TMC. You heard it right. The dynamic duo of Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and Chris Mullins. If you guys don't know who these guys are, I suggest you stay tuned because you're going to walk away with here with a wealth of knowledge and a slew of charisma, and just I'm going to indulge on one of the top basketball scoring trios ever to ever touch the hardwood. But let's get it started. Tim, Mitch, and Chris came into the league guns blazing. This is one of the highest powered octane offenses ever, run by legendary coach Don Nelson's run and gun offense. And let me tell you something, these guys are still iconic to this day on t-shirts, hats, bobbleheads, you name it, they have them. Cartoon versions and all. because let me tell you, this is one of the most storied dynamic duos of all time. They had a very high-powered octane offense in Golden State Warriors history. And I'm talking about NBA history as well. They were second behind the legendary Nuggets team that was featured by a player I just touched on, a legendary player I just touched on, Alex English, Kiki Vandeweghe, and Dan Issel. They finished second behind them as far as points per game as a team of 3 top scorers. That goes to show you the amount of work that Tim, Mitch, and Chris put in offensively. And everybody knows who Chris Mullins is. Chris Mullins is a Hall of Famer. So is Mitch Richmond. And deservedly so. Chris Mullins was a native of Brooklyn, and he made his name with legendary coach Lou Carnesecca. And he modeled his game in the Brooklyn streets, playgrounds. And he worked on his game religiously. What I loved about Chris Mullins that he was a lefty like myself, and I was a shooter myself in high school. And he had this form where he would catch the ball, and it was just so smooth with his arc, where he would shoot like this and have this tuck in the elbows, and it was just clean with the release and everything. Just a steady flow with his shot. He would go on to play for St. John's Red Storm, where he would make a name for himself and ended up getting drafted by the Golden State Warriors, followed by 1988 Mitch Richmond, and then 89 Tim Hardaway. And Chris Mullins will tell you to this day at an interview, as he said, that he had the most fun playing basketball with Mitch Richmond and Tim Hardaway. And it's a testament to show you how great those two guys were, because they were one of the 3 most prolific scoring offenses ever in the NBA. Don Nelson ran a system called Nelly ball, which is iconic to this day because it was a style of run and gun offense and featured in scoring and shooting and just getting the ball up the court real quick and scoring. They were fast-paced and very fun to watch. Many nights in Golden State, they sold out many games. One season, they sold out a record 82 games. So it goes to show you that the fans were taking notice of the Run TMC offense, high-octane offense, and it was very, very fun to watch. The 87-88 season, Don Nelson was the vice president. He would eventually take his realms down to the coaching in 1988 and 89. And in his first season, Golden State Warriors, with the Run TMC offense, led the league in offense. In the 1989-90 season, Run TMC led the league in scoring. So it goes to show you how high-powered and high-octane they were, because they had 3 scorers that were in the ranges of 20 points per game and up. That goes to show you how much prolific and how phenomenal they were with putting that ball in the basket. When Hardaway came into the league, he was known as a fast-paced point guard and known for his killer crossover. And he wasn't really a phenomenal shooter or scorer, but eventually he would work on that, and he would reach that feat, and he would become a prolific scorer, just as Chris Mullins and Mitch Richmond were. I remember very vividly in a game against Boston. It was the 38th game of the season where they both all reached over 20 points for the first time. And that was dope, man. It's just a testament to all the hard work that these guys put in to be such phenomenal shooters, especially Tim Hardaway, because he wasn't known for that coming in the league. And in the first 2 seasons, they would score more than 20 points 48 times, going 30 and 18 in those games. During that 1990 and 91 season, they would sell out every home game, which is a testament because if you guys don't remember, the Warriors weren't that good before those guys got there. They had a lot of down years up until then, and it pumped the breath of life into Golden State Warriors fans because Dub Nation is a very passionate fan base, and it brought them back to life. The season opener, I remember very vividly because I remember this game. They beat the Denver Nuggets 162 to 158, which today is the highest NBA scoring game ever. You guys heard me right. The highest NBA scoring game ever, 162 to 158 in regulation, mind you. This goes to show you how much offensively gifted this team was, because Run TMC, while they weren't a great defensive team, offensively they could put that ball in the basket. On a game on February 26, 1991, Run TMC lost the game 131 to 119. And this is a game where all 3 players scored more than 30 points, but the rest of the team didn't give a valiant effort in scoring, only scoring 21 points in a loss. The team was very, very good offensively, but defensively they struggled. And those 3 guys carried them on most of the night, especially offensively. And that night was a testament to it because the rest of the team didn't pull it together. And it just wasted away a valiant effort by those 3 guys, Tim, Mitch, and Chris. Warriors would finish that year 44 and 38 with their second best record in 9 years. And they also were second in scoring and team scoring with 116 points per game. So this goes to show you how offensively gifted Tim, Mitch, and Chris were, because they were a big reason for them finishing second that year in scoring. But they mightily struggled defensively. And that was the main issue with the core of that team, and the reason why they weren't able to achieve a lot of wins in that era. And all three Warrior players, Tim, Mitch, and Chris, averaged that season 20 plus more points per game, with Tim Hardaway averaging 22, Mitch Richmond 25, and Chris Mullin 25. It's a testament to how fluent their offense was and how fun they were to watch offensively at putting that ball in the basket. And I had the enjoyment of watching it, so that's why this episode is dear to me, because Tim, Mitch, and Chris live in my heart to this day, because they're the reason why I grew the game. I grew a love for the game, one of the main reasons, and plus the reason why I love shooting three-pointers and shooting the ball and putting it in the basket, because I practiced night in and night out because of Chris, because everybody knew in New York who Chris Mullin was. And these three amigos, TMC, held the second best record as a trio in points per game, falling second behind the Denver Nuggets, as I touched on before, with Alex English, who I did an episode just recently of, Kiki Vandeweghe, and Dan Issel, the iconic Denver Nugget trio. So that goes to show you they were in classic history offensively in the NBA, and their numbers are still up there to this day. The Warriors not only were a good regular season team in 9 years, the first best one they had, that season they defeated a very good San Antonio Spurs team and upsetting them in the first round. Unfortunately, they ran into a wall on the Lakers where they would fall and be eliminated that season. Unfortunately, Run TMC's run would come to an end and they would be broken up. Mitch Richmond will be the first one to be traded to the Sacramento Kings along with Les Jepsen for Billy Owens, because Don Nelson thought that Billy Owens would bring a little more dynamic because he was a little bit taller and could rebound the ball, and he thought that he was under pressure from management to improve, and he thought Billy Owens would make that improvement for the Golden State Warriors. In Run TMC's short 2 years together, they only made it out of the playoffs 1 out of 2 times and finished with a record of 81 and 83. And 4th place, getting no higher than 4th place in the Pacific Division. Nelson was quoted recently as saying that he would have never made that trade if he had to do it again. Richmond's career took a uproot. He became a 6-time All-Star, and his number got retired by the Sacramento Kings in 2003. Owens, on the other hand, didn't make the leap that Don Nelson thought he would. In 3 seasons, he made minimal impact with the Golden State Warriors. They won 55 games that year, the Warriors, but they only finished in 2nd place and got bounced in the first round of the playoffs that season. Unfortunately, in 1996, that season, Tim Hardaway would take his next journey, and he would be the next one to be traded out of Run TMC, leaving Chris Mullin by himself. Tim Hardaway was traded to the Miami Heat, where he would go on to have a very good, illustrious, iconic career over there in Miami with Alonzo Mourning. And last but not least, iconic, legendary Chris Mullin was traded to the Indiana Pacers, where he would go on to have an illustrious career and actually came close to winning a title. And Tim Hardaway also went on to have an illustrious career and went on many good playoff battle runs, eventually coming up short and didn't win the title, but still had an iconic career. And Mitch Richmond actually went on to win an actual NBA title, albeit he was on a minimal role with the Lakers, but they won the title in 2002. So he's the only one out of the group that came up with a ring. And this is a story that I remember because I love this, and I still remember it to this day because I watched the ceremony. Chris Mullin in 2011 was inducted to the Naismith Hall of Fame with his mentor, Lou Carnesecca. And I want you guys to see this video. And mind you that he also made the 92 illustrious Dream Team. But watch this clip on his Hall of Fame speech.
To the Hall of Fame is his coach at St. John's University, Lou Carnesecca, from the Hall of Fame class of 1992. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Mullin.
Thank you very much. Coach, it's hard to believe we made it this far. I gotta say, without you in my life, I would not be standing here tonight. You taught me so much, how to win with humility and how to lose with dignity. and how to respect the game. The thing I cherish most is our relationship over the last 36 years. Thank you. Looking out, I realize I'm a long way from Flatbush Avenue. But Brooklyn's definitely in the house tonight. I'm so lucky to have my family here with me tonight, my siblings, my older sister Kathy, my 3 brothers, Roddy, John, and Terrence. And although our parents are no longer here, I feel their presence in my life every single day. And I dedicate this honor to them. Also here tonight are 2 of my biggest fans, the Nuns. My Aunt Catherine, who turns 90 tomorrow, and Sister Mercedes, they've been watching my game since I was 8 years old. I thank you for your prayers and your divine intervention. And if you're at my age and you still got 2 90-year-old nuns praying for you, you know life is very good. Growing up in New York City gave me some tremendous advantages as a basketball player. I had 2 wonderful coaches at a young age. Jack Alisi and Lou Picola are here tonight. And they taught me the fundamentals of the game and gave me the confidence to go anywhere in the city and play against anybody at any time. When it was time to choose a college, it was an easy choice. I packed a bag and went 12 miles down the Belt Parkway and went to St. John's University. I chose the best coach in the best city, and I played in the world's most famous arena. And I got to play with some of New York City's greatest players of all time, Mark Jackson, David Russell, and Walter Berry, both here tonight. All 3 tonight. I thank you for being here, guys. The Big East Conference provided us with incredible competition and great rivalries. It was a great time to be a college basketball player. And with great teammates come great success, and we held our own, thanks to Dave Gavitt and St. John's University. In 1985, I was off to the NBA. And when I was drafted by the Golden State Warriors, by the wonderful Al Attles, one of my buddies said to me, "Where the heck is that place?" And I didn't know myself. All I knew was a long way from New York. And my new pro life and being 3,000 miles away from home took a little bit of adjustment for me. But by the grace of God, I started living my life one day at a time, and it strengthened me personally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I truly want to thank the Golden State Warriors organization and the fans for supporting me during a very difficult time in my life. I am forever grateful to the Bay Area, and today I call it home. Mitch Richmond and Tim Hardaway, Run TMC. We had a lot of fun running and gunning, and I gotta thank Rod Higgins for being such a great role model. And Don Nelson, Nelly. Who else would encourage Manute Bol to shoot 3-point shots? Those are my favorite pro years. I had 3 great years in Indiana. I got to play for my idol, Larry Bird, and under the brilliant leadership of Donnie Walsh. I was honored and so proud to play on 2 Olympic teams, 1984 for Bobby Knight, and in 1992 for the great Chuck Daly on the legendary Dream Team. Basketball was never a job for me. I love to play, I love to compete, and be part of a team. I made a career out of my passion. I'm so blessed. To all my teammates, too many to mention, you made the game fun. And to all my opponents, you made it worth coming to the gym. To my wife Liz and our 4 children, Sean, Chris, Liam, and Kira, you're my dream team. I'd like to sincerely thank Jerry Colangelo and the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame for this incredible honor. I'd like to thank David Stern and the NBA for allowing me to play in the greatest league in the world. And to my fellow inductees, congratulations and enjoy the evening.
Mullins also said that his career took off when Richmond and Tim Hardaway came to the Golden State Warriors, Run TMC. And one of his favorite coaches, Don Nelson, was also inducted to the Hall of Fame, as well as Mitch Richmond. 2022, Tim Hardaway was admitted as part of the Hall class. So all these guys basically made a name for themselves in the NBA and were enshrined into illustrious company. So it goes to show you the testament of the Run TMC group and how far they made it in the NBA. And you got to tip your hat to them because they, to this day, they're one of the most iconic offenses ever. In 2012, I remember this, Golden State Warriors retired Chris Mullin's jersey, and it was a Run TMC bobblehead night. And at the ceremony, you could tell Chris Mullins in an interview, he basically said that he wishes they would have retired all three of them at the same time. And rightfully so, because they're one of the most Golden State Warriors iconic duos and iconic duos of basketball ever. So I got to agree with Chris Mullins on that. Mullins also said he would have felt more comfortable because it's not about one person, it's about all. And he also said that it was the most fun basketball that he's ever played with Mitch and Tim Hardaway. So it goes to show you, man, how much he loved his teammates, and they were at his ceremony. They were there cheering him on, and it was a proud moment. I smiled because I remember as a kid, I loved them. I used to wear the Run TMC t-shirts. I bought it one time. I lived on 152nd and Jackson at the time. And there was a guy that used to sell print shirts, and he had one of Larry Johnson with his gold tooth, and then he had the Run TMC one. And I said, I have to cop that one. So I wish I would have still had it this day. I don't know how I lost that shirt. I think it ended up ripping one time I was playing basketball, but I may end up getting it back one day. But, you know, it goes to show you, man, these guys are posted all over shirts. There's countless videos of them and what they used to do, and it just sucks, man. I would like to actually know your guys in the comments, like, what would you think if they would have added more defenders? Like, could Run TMC actually have made a serious run at the title? Let me know in the comments, because I feel like they could have. Unfortunately, he made a mistake, and Don Nelson regretted it, trading Mitch Richmond for Billy Owens just for the height, and they felt like they needed to get taller. I think that was a bad trade, and Nelson also thinks it himself is one of his regrets to this day. So I just want to know, man, what you guys think in the comments, man, because this episode is dear to me because this is one of the most iconic duos ever. Run TMC. So this is going to conclude Gold School Retro NBA episode 22. Run TMC. You guys aren't already subscribed, Gold School Retro NBA is available on Spotify. And you can follow me on YouTube, Ari Hoops 84. Gold School Retro NBA is also there. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Drop a like below and leave your comments and let me know what you thought about Run TMC. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you.